Hey, welcome back. The time is 7:39, and I usually like these segments with Will Meyer. I was excited to see the Kingsman, the Golden Circle, because I liked the first one, and you said you didn't love it.
I didn't love it. It's made by a guy that I love, Matthew Vaughn. It's talented. I can recognize some of the good stuff in it, but it's just not for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, to each his own.
Which brings us to this sequel. Yeah, this is Kingsman, the Golden Circle, sequel to the 2015 film Kingsman, the Secret Service. This movie brings back Taron Egerton, Colin Firth, also has newcomers Julianne Moore, Jeff Bridges, Channing Tatum, Halle Berry. So it's an incredible cast. If you're not familiar with that first film, it's a movie that's sort of a send-up of spy films. It's an action comedy that features a lot of over-the-top violence and gore, but it's also with a wink. There's some self-aware humor. Some people, like Daniel, thought that was witty and inspired and irreverent.
Yeah, I did.
I appreciate some things about it, but I'm more on the smug and obnoxious side of things. So,
you said it.
So I wasn't looking forward to this sequel, but I tried to go into it with an open mind. But unfortunately, I think it kind of gives you more of what either you liked and I didn't like about the first one, which is a lot of these excessively stylized action scenes, over-the-top set pieces and performances. Pop culture references that I didn't necessarily go for, except for there's one really good one in here. Elton John has a cameo in here that's really funny, but like the only good things in this movie, they just run it into the ground. So I was disappointed by it, but if I can be objective, I don't think you're going to like it as much as the first one, because this movie gets so caught up in doing what a lot of sequels do, which is trying to just replicate, copy that original. And so fight scenes, gags are almost just verbatim lifted from the first movie, and just the law of diminishing returns applies. Also, this one tonally is kind of all over the place, because it's campy at times and really silly, and then other times it wants you to take it really seriously, and so you can't tell sometimes whether it's just making fun of spy movies or if it wants to be taken seriously as one. I heard a guy behind me after the movie who just said, man, that one was just too much. So he was a fan of the first one, didn't really go for this one. I certainly didn't. So I'm going to say 1.5 out of 4 stars. 1.5
stars. That's a Will Meyer rip right there. Okay. Lego Ninjago movie.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the Lego movies.
Yeah,
so.
Including me. The first one was one in my top 10 of that year. So incredibly funny, clever. This one is the third installment in the series of Lego movies. It's also based on the animated kids TV series that my nieces are obsessed with, Lego Ninjago Masters of Spinzitzu, I think it's called. But yeah, this is a movie about a boy who is kind of bullied at school by a lot of people because his dad is this evil warlord, and so but what they don't know is that he and his friends are actually secret ninjas that are trying to defeat that evil warlord. So yeah, like we just said, first couple Lego movies really good. I think they're kind of running out of gas now, though. This is actually the second Lego movie we've had this year, so they're really churning them out, and this one has just kind of lost its edge a little bit. I think that they're trying to give you what you like about those first couple of films: fast-paced action scenes, fast-paced quippy dialogue, pop culture references, sort of making fun of itself, but they neglect some of the core elements of movies, one being story. This movie is really rambling. It just doesn't have much of a driving force, doesn't necessarily know what it's trying to do. It doesn't have much of an emotional core either. I like the heart of those first couple of films, and I thought that this one just it didn't have much as far as that goes. And then characters too, from what my nieces have told me, all of the ninjas in the Lego Ninjago series are a big part of this story. Here, I couldn't tell you any of their names, and so it's difficult to care about them. So, but bottom line, is it funny? Yes, I laughed out loud a lot during this movie. I thought Justin Theroux was hilarious. I thought that there's some good pop culture references and in-jokes. I thought it was funnier than most animated movies I've seen this year, as far as Boss Baby, Captain Underpants, all those. So, the worst of the 3 Lego movies, but still, I think a decently funny movie. So I'd say 2.5 out of 4 stars.
All right, the last one we got to get to quickly, but that's Brad's Status.
Brad's Status, drama starring Ben Stiller. He plays a guy who's taking his son on a tour of colleges, and he reconnects with some of his old friends, and he finds that he's having a crisis of confidence because he finds that his friends are more successful than him. This is a movie that I think a lot of people are going to relate to because, he's feeling that his life hasn't turned out the way he thought it would, and I think that whether you're working at a fast food restaurant or you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, we've all felt that some people have it better than us. And so this movie is a fascinating and poignant look at status anxiety. Great performances by Ben Stiller, and this kid, Austin Abrams, in this movie, breakout performance. It's a drama comedy. It's not quite as funny as it thinks it is, but I love this movie. I can't wait to see it again. Not a perfect movie, but this could easily end up on my top 10 of the year. I'd say 3.5 out of 4 stars.
3.5 out of 4, top 10 of the year. Maybe. That's a good rating from Will Meyer. All right, man. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.